My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. I was born in San Francisco in 1940. I'm 24 right now. Well, Kung Fu, the best example would be a glass of water. Why? Because water is the softest substance in the world, but yet it can penetrate the hardest rock or anything, granite, you name it.
As a martial arts icon, Bruce Lee left behind countless moments that showed his greatness outside of film. Behind the scenes, he wasn't just a fighter. He was a coach, a training partner, and a wise Kung Fu mentor to the people around him.
To me, to me, ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do.
But the real question is this: how does someone become Bruce Lee? How is it even possible for a human being to reach the level of the greatest martial artist of all time? The question sounds simple, but the answer is anything but comfortable. Because becoming Bruce Lee isn't about copying his moves, his fighting style, or even his physique. It's about how he thought, how he trained, and how he chose to live. Bruce Lee never chased the title of the greatest. What he chased was total honesty with himself. His journey always started from the foundations. He threw himself into traditional Kung Fu with brutal discipline, learning structure, distance, and timing at a deep level. Bruce Lee first studied Wing Chun under his very first teacher, Yip Man. Master Yip taught him using wooden poles, the wooden dummy, and live sparring drills that forced Bruce to apply technique under pressure. Eventually, Bruce stepped into competition too. He entered an inter-school amateur boxing tournament, the Hong Kong High School Championship, in 1958. In his debut year, he went all the way, winning the entire tournament by knocking out his opponent in the final. After that, his father made a big decision. He sent Bruce back to America and told him to finish his studies there. With just $100 in his pocket, 18-year-old Bruce left Hong Kong for the United States and settled in Seattle, where he enrolled at the University of Washington to study philosophy. But Bruce Lee was never truly interested in sitting in classrooms. Martial arts was already in his blood. He started teaching other college students, giving private lessons and small group classes, turning his passion into a way to make a living. In 1963, Bruce opened his first martial arts school in Seattle. By 1964, he opened a second school in Oakland. Slowly but surely, his name began to spread through the martial arts community. But Bruce refused to be trapped inside a single style. Boxing, wrestling, fencing, karate. He studied all of them. Not to collect techniques like trophies, but to test them. Whatever worked, he kept. Whatever didn't, he threw away without hesitation. Adaptability was Bruce Lee's core principle, and it became the foundation of his most famous quote: "Be water." Bruce Lee took the nature of water, its flexibility and balance, and turned it into a life philosophy that's still famous today. Water is balance. It doesn't force its way through. It just keeps searching, patiently, for any path it can take. Water adapts. Water survives. Even when it looks calm, it's slowly wearing down everything around it.
Well, Kung Fu, the best example would be a glass of water. Why? Because water is the softest substance in the world, but yet it can penetrate the hardest rock or anything, granite, you name it.
From that mindset, Bruce Lee began to improvise and eventually created a new martial art he called Jeet Kune Do. He blended all the different disciplines he'd studied into one fluid system. Jeet Kune Do has no rigid structure. It's not meant to be frozen. It keeps evolving. Bruce Lee's martial art was designed to move like water, built for speed, power, and defense, all with one purpose: to break through and overcome any opponent standing in front of you. For a man Bruce Lee's size, about 5 feet 8 inches tall and only 127 pounds, he was incredibly strong. His punch was measured at around 350 pounds of force, right in the same ballpark as Muhammad Ali. What makes that insane is the fact that Bruce weighed barely half of what Ali did. His punch could hit the target from about 1 meter away in just 1/500th of a second. On top of that, Bruce Lee could blast a 135-pound heavy bag straight up into the air, launching it almost 5 meters high. Even more ridiculous, his sidekick was powerful enough to send a 330-pound punching bag flying. In one piece of footage, you can see Bruce driving a 200-pound man backward, just by kicking into a protective shield he's holding.
Training at his house backyard. It was taken at the first house Bruce and Linda purchased in Bel Air, California.
In another clip, a skinny man gets sent crashing through a wooden wall after eating one of Bruce Lee's full-power sidekicks. And it wasn't just raw power. He was insanely fast. Bruce Lee could fire off up to 6 kicks in a single second, all with that signature whip-like explosiveness. In some demonstrations, Bruce Lee was able to fire off 2 punches in a fraction of a second. But the question is, why 2? Because the first punch wasn't meant to knock you out. It was a decoy. That initial strike was so fast that you couldn't really see it, but your body could feel it. And the human body is wired to react. So as soon as that first punch comes in, your guard moves, your reflexes kick in, and in that tiny moment, a weakness opens up. That's where the second punch comes in. The real one. The execution shot. The first punch makes you flinch. The second one makes you pay.
I got a pillow, so I stood up, put a pillow in front of me, and hold it, and bang, like that, knocked me into the chair.
Bruce Lee often used a double parry technique in his fights. That second parry, done with his left hand, would happen at the exact same time as a strike to the opponent's neck with his right hand. But obviously, none of that came easily or quickly. This martial arts master put himself through brutal training to build the kind of body structure and punching speed that shocked everyone who saw it. Speed, power, flexibility, and endurance. Those were Bruce Lee's main goals in training. His routines have inspired countless people, even though, for most of us, they look almost impossible to replicate. In one photo that's circulated online, you can see a page from Bruce Lee's training journal from 1965. It lists several strength and muscle building exercises he performed regularly every single day. Multiple sources also mention that Lee loved to experiment with his methods. That's what allowed him to eventually create his own fighting style, a blend of traditional martial arts and modern combat principles. Behind-the-scenes footage of Bruce Lee working with Bob Wall and Chuck Norris also gives us a deeper look into his dedication, skill, and the personal relationships he built with other martial artists. In one behind-the-scenes clip from Enter the Dragon, you can see Bruce and Bob Wall rehearsing their fight scene for the film. The practice session showcases Lee's technical mastery and his brilliant sense of choreography. Their close relationship is obvious in the way they interact, with Lee demonstrating his movements and Wall watching and learning with total focus.